Ladies and gentlemen, we have progress. We're not done. we're getting there though. So let's take a look at what has happened and what comes next. So as you can see, we have walls. All of the walls are up, all of the ceiling is up, everything is done. I do not need to deal with these walls anymore, and that is fantastic. Next up, we'll be dealing with getting a plasterer in. He can deal with my mess, fix everything for me. But we'll talk about that in a second. So let's take a quick look at this Isomax system one more time so you can really see it. Here's a nice cross section of it. Gives you an idea of how much wall we actually lose. So the wall initially was here. There's now an air gap, stud wall, this big air gap here, is full of insulation. And then these Isomax clips, these are rubber clips in metal clip channels. And then I've got these furring bars in them that the gyprock actually mounts to. So we're not mounting the walls to the wooden studs. We don't want, we want to minimize any vibration transfer into those. So now, on the clips, we have the 44 kilo gyprock, extremely heavy. Then there's this vinyl Tech Sound in there, the Tech Sound 100. It's 10 kilos per meter squared, ridiculously heavy, but cool, does its job. And then a second layer of this very heavy 44 kilo gyprock. Now when sound hits this wall, the wall will of course vibrate, but it's going to vibrate in this rubber section here, and that's going to absorb a shit ton of that vibration. So minimal sound gets transferred into the wood, and if any does make it through, there's an air gap behind that, and if any makes it through that air gap, it's going to hit these huge concrete blocks at the back of it, and hopefully it's going to stop most of the sound coming through. So before the plasterer comes in, I need to nip around with my acoustic sealant and fill all of these gaps. They're part by design and part by my DIY incompetence. Same down here. Fill all of these gaps with a nice acoustic sealant to stop sound leaking through, right? That's nice and easy though, right? Hopefully. Then we have Darren in. So Darren, of course, is electrician friend. Darren is going to be mounting the air conditioning unit to that wall. There's actually a big hole in the wall behind that wall. We'll drill through that, run the cabling for the split. So we'll have a bar up there that brings distributes the air, and then on the outside there will be a nice big fan mounted system so we can pull nice, clean, cold air into the room. Because warm air if I need it, but I'd be very surprised. There's a lot of insulation around me. I think keeping this room cool is going to be a lot more important than keeping it warm. I think even during the winter this is going to be quite a warm room. So definitely going to need that air conditioning. We'll also be putting spotlights in, as you can see. We've got all of these cables in the ceiling ready for the spotlights. Now spotlights are always going to be a slight acoustic weak point in the room. Not all that fussed about it though. Nothing's going to be perfect with this. We just do the best that we can. It's not like I'm going to be having Metallica playing in here at full volume. It's just going to be, recording and video studio. So while I will be making noise, not massive amounts of noise. Let's come over here, take a quick look at the electrics. So all the electrics for everything, they run all behind the walls and they come to this point down here. Cabling comes out and goes to this fuse box that will be mounted on the wall here. Father-in-law not overly happy about that. He's a kind of electrical engineer, programmer, he works in industry, and he's like, Leroy, you can't possibly put that in a residential place, maybe in an industrial place, but not residential. We'd hide that behind the walls in something residential, or we'd put a different unit in. You'd put some sort of cabinet in place. I don't care. I just want it done. And more importantly, it's actually going to be hidden behind my desk, so you're not going to see it anyway. What does it matter? The other thing to note is when I talk in here, you're getting a lot of echo, and that echo comes from the fact that we've got solid walls all around us. Now, before these walls went up, we had the insulation, and this was an amazing place to talk in because there was no sound reflection. So next up is the acoustic absorbing panels. That's after everything's been plastered and decorated. Now, this is what, when you talk to a tradesman about soundproofing, they'll go, why didn't you just put egg boxes in? Egg boxes don't help with soundproofing. Sound will still travel through the egg boxes and through the walls. They're great at kind of stopping, they're good at absorbing the sound and stopping reflections, stopping the sound bouncing around the room. Currently, when I talk and I shout at that wall, sound comes out of my mouth, hits the wall, bounces off the wall, hits that wall, bounces, and it just bounces around the room. You get all this echo. And of course, that's no good for recording audio. It's certainly no good for recording talking, and I'll be podcasting in here. So we want to put up all of these panels that are really going to absorb that vibration and stop it bouncing around the room, so you get a nice clean vocal sound. That's very important. So probably go to somewhere like GIK for that. That is very expensive stuff, so it might take me a little while because I'm broke now, but we'll get there, don't worry. Lastly, we'll just look at all these materials. I need to do a clean up, but actually minimal stuff to clean up. So a big thank you to the people over at the Soundproofing store. They've been very helpful in this whole process. And although they did send me more materials than I needed, I certainly can't complain about that, because they're cool about sending stuff back that you don't need. I would so much rather be sent more stuff than I need than not have enough stuff for the job. And actually, in the grand scheme of things, we've got 2 rolls of tech sound to send back. We've already sent back some of the rock wool insulation. We've got maybe 15 Isomax clips, some metal furring channels, and that's it. We've tried to be extremely conscious of waste. So I've used as many offcuts as possible, but the rest of this can all go to the skip. We don't have any full boards left. We're down to our last board for that final wall, so that was well spec'd. Very, very happy with that. And outside of thanking the Soundproof store, got to thank you guys. Thank you so much for all of the support on this project. We are so nearly there now. Or at least I feel like we're nearly there. We'll find out though. I couldn't do it without you. So keep watching, keep sharing, keep telling your friends to check my stuff out. I can't wait to get back to making proper videos. Although I'm fine doing these, I want to be doing educational stuff. That's what I do. I want to be entertaining you rather than informing you of what the fuck is going on in my life. So huge thank you. Click the button on screen to check me out on Patreon. It's a big help. You can support me for as little as $1. You can subscribe by clicking the other button. You'll see 2 more of my videos on screen now. Go check them out. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, all that usual bullshit. Any comments, concerns, suggestions, any information you want, just let me know in that comment section below. Much love, and I'll see you for another video soon. Latest.